Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk to you today about strength, not physical strength, but mental strength, the kind that allows people to push forward in uncertainty, to stand firm when things get tough, and to inspire others along the way. Mentally strong people don't have all the answers. They don't always have the perfect plan. But what they do have are habits that guide them, shape them, and sustain them. So let's talk about 5 habits of mentally strong people. Growth never happens inside the comfort zone. We know this instinctively, yet most people spend their lives avoiding discomfort. They choose the path of least resistance, seeking ease, convenience, and certainty. But the truth is, everything worth achieving requires stepping into discomfort. Mentally strong people understand this on a deep level. They don't just tolerate discomfort, they embrace it. They know that real progress, whether in business, relationships, or personal development, only comes when we are willing to push beyond what feels easy or safe. They don't see struggle as a sign of failure. They see it as evidence that they are moving forward. Look at any great leader, innovator, or change maker. They didn't get to where they are by staying comfortable. They took risks. They faced criticism. They made mistakes. And through it all, they kept going. That's the difference between those who succeed and those who don't. It's not about talent, intelligence, or luck. It's about the willingness to endure discomfort for the sake of something bigger. So think about how growth happens physically. If you want to build muscle, you have to put stress on your body. You have to lift heavier weights, push past fatigue, and even experience pain. It's not pleasant, but it's necessary. The same principle applies to mental strength. If you only do what's easy, you'll never develop the resilience needed to handle the challenges life throws at you. There's a reason why so many people give up when things get hard. Discomfort triggers fear. It makes people second guess themselves. It creates uncertainty, and our brains don't like uncertainty. The natural instinct is to retreat, to find a way back to safety, but safety doesn't lead to progress. Every time you choose comfort over challenge, you reinforce the habit of quitting. On the other hand, every time you lean into discomfort, you strengthen the habit of perseverance. Mentally strong people train themselves to become comfortable with discomfort. They understand that their ability to handle pain, frustration, and uncertainty determines their ability to grow. Instead of avoiding difficult conversations, they have them. Instead of running from failure, they analyze it and learn from it. Instead of quitting when things get tough, they adjust their approach and keep moving. They don't wait until they feel ready because they know that readiness is a myth. You become ready by doing the hard things. One of the biggest misconceptions about success is that it comes from avoiding pain. But the opposite is true. Growth is painful. Change is uncomfortable. The process of becoming who you're meant to be requires breaking old habits, facing fears, and stretching yourself beyond your perceived limits. If you resist discomfort, you resist growth. The problem is society teaches us to avoid struggle. We're told to find the easiest path, to make things as smooth as possible. But mentally strong people don't look for the easy way, they look for the right way. And the right way often involves discomfort. They know that challenges are not obstacles, they are stepping stones. Each difficulty they face is an opportunity to become stronger, wiser, and more prepared for what's next. This mindset is what separates those who achieve greatness from those who settle. It's not about being fearless, it's about acting despite fear. It's about recognizing that discomfort is not the enemy, it's the key to unlocking potential. If you can learn to sit with discomfort, to welcome it as part of the journey, you'll find that there is nothing you cannot handle. Every breakthrough, every moment of transformation happens just beyond the edge of what feels comfortable. Those who are willing to step into that space, who embrace the struggle instead of avoiding it, are the ones who rise above. When challenges arise, most people immediately look for solutions. They ask themselves, what do I need to do? Or how can I fix this? While these are valid questions, they are not the most important ones. Mentally strong people take a different approach. Instead of focusing only on the what or how, they start with the why. They understand that having a strong reason behind their actions is what fuels resilience, determination, and the ability to push forward even when things seem impossible. Purpose is the foundation of mental strength. It is the invisible force that keeps people moving when motivation fades and obstacles appear. When someone has a deep, compelling reason for doing something, they are far less likely to quit when things get tough. Without a clear purpose, even small difficulties can feel overwhelming. But when a person has a strong why, they develop an inner drive that allows them to endure setbacks and push through discomfort. History is filled with examples of people who achieved extraordinary things, not because they were the most talented or the most skilled, but because they had an unshakable sense of purpose. Great leaders, athletes, and innovators have all faced moments of doubt, criticism, and failure. What kept them going was not their abilities alone, it was their deep commitment to something bigger than themselves. They knew why they were doing what they were doing, and that knowledge gave them the strength to persist. The problem most people face is that they focus too much on short-term goals without understanding their deeper motivation. They set objectives based on what they think they should do rather than what truly matters to them. This is why so many people struggle with consistency. They chase after things that don't really inspire them, and when difficulties arise, they lose interest or give up entirely. But mentally strong people take the time to define their purpose before they take action. They ask themselves, why is this important to me? And what impact will this have in the long run? When someone connects deeply with their purpose, they develop an ability to endure hardships that would break others. They no longer see obstacles as reasons to quit. They see them as tests of commitment. They don't ask, is this worth it? They remind themselves why they started in the first place. This shift in mindset is powerful because it creates a level of perseverance that cannot be shaken by temporary failures or setbacks. Another important aspect of focusing on why is that it creates a sense of meaning in the work being done. People who lack purpose often feel like they are simply going through the motions. They wake up, follow routines, and chase after goals that don't truly excite them. This leads to frustration, burnout, and a lack of fulfillment. But those who are driven by purpose experience a completely different reality. Even when their work is difficult, they find meaning in it. They understand that the effort they put in is connected to something significant, something worth fighting for. Purpose also provides clarity in decision-making. When faced with choices, mentally strong people filter their decisions through their why. They don't waste time on things that don't align with their purpose. They don't get distracted by short-term rewards that take them away from their ultimate mission. This ability to stay focused is one of the reasons they achieve so much. They know what truly matters to them, and they are unwilling to compromise on it. Many people believe that finding purpose is a complicated process, but it doesn't have to be. It starts with asking deeper questions. Instead of just thinking about what needs to be done, people should reflect on what excites them, what impact they want to have, and what legacy they want to leave behind. The clearer this vision becomes, the stronger their sense of purpose will be. And with that sense of purpose comes an extraordinary level of mental strength that allows them to keep going no matter what challenges arise. Most people rely on motivation to take action. They wait until they feel inspired, energized, or ready before they begin working toward their goals. The problem with this approach is that motivation is temporary. It comes and goes, influenced by mood, circumstances, and external factors. On the days when motivation is high, everything feels easy, but on the days when it's low, even the simplest tasks feel overwhelming. This is why so many people struggle with consistency. They start projects with excitement, but give up the moment they lose interest or face a challenge. Mentally strong people operate differently. They don't depend on motivation, they rely on discipline. Discipline is the ability to take action regardless of how one feels. It is about showing up every day, no matter the circumstances. While motivation is emotional, discipline is a decision. Mentally strong people do not allow their feelings to dictate their actions. They understand that success is built on habits, not occasional bursts of inspiration. They create routines, set standards, and commit to showing up even when they don't feel like it. This is what separates those who achieve great things from those who merely dream about them. The key difference between motivation and discipline is that motivation is reactive, while discipline is proactive. Motivation waits for the right mood, but discipline creates the right conditions for progress. Mentally strong people structure their days around their goals. They do not rely on willpower alone because they know that willpower is limited. Instead, they design systems that make success inevitable. They remove distractions, set clear expectations for themselves, and prioritize consistency over perfection. One of the biggest misconceptions about discipline is that it requires extreme effort or willpower. In reality, discipline is built through small, repeated actions. Mentally strong people do not try to force themselves into massive changes overnight. Instead, they focus on small, manageable habits that, over time, lead to significant results. They understand that consistency is more important than intensity. A person who exercises for 20 minutes every day will see more progress than someone who works out for 3 hours once a month. The same principle applies to every area of life. Small daily actions done repeatedly create unstoppable momentum. Another reason why discipline is more powerful than motivation is that it removes the need for decision making. Every time a person has to decide whether to take action, there is a chance they will choose the easier option. Mentally strong people eliminate this problem by turning their important tasks into non-negotiable habits. They do not wake up and ask themselves if they feel like working out, writing, or practicing their craft. They do it because it is part of who they are. This removes hesitation and makes success automatic. Mentally strong people also understand the importance of self-discipline in difficult moments. There will always be days when things feel harder than usual. Challenges arise, setbacks happen, and energy levels fluctuate. But instead of using these moments as excuses to quit, they use them as opportunities to strengthen their discipline. They remind themselves that doing the work when it's hard is what builds true strength. They do not let temporary discomfort dictate their long-term success. Another powerful aspect of discipline is that it builds confidence. Every time a person keeps a promise to themselves, they reinforce their belief in their own abilities. They prove to themselves that they are reliable, capable, and in control of their actions. This creates a cycle of success. The more disciplined a person becomes, the more they trust themselves to follow through on their commitments. This self-trust is a defining characteristic of mentally strong people. While motivation can be helpful in the short term, it is discipline that leads to lasting results. Discipline is what allows people to stay committed to their goals long after the excitement fades. It is the foundation of success in any area of life. By choosing discipline over motivation, mentally strong people ensure that their progress is not determined by their emotions, but by their commitment to consistent action. Most people see challenges as obstacles, roadblocks that stand in the way of progress. When faced with difficulties, they get frustrated, discouraged, or even give up entirely. They view problems as unfair interruptions to their plans, as reasons why they cannot move forward. But mentally strong people see challenges differently. Instead of seeing them as setbacks, they see them as opportunities to grow, to learn, and to become stronger. The way a person interprets a challenge determines how they respond. Those who view challenges as negative experiences tend to avoid them. They try to take the easiest path, hoping to minimize struggle and discomfort. But in doing so, they also minimize growth. Every challenge, no matter how difficult, carries the potential to teach something valuable. It forces people to think differently, to adapt, and to improve. Mentally strong people understand this and embrace challenges rather than avoiding them. This mindset is what allows them to thrive in adversity. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" they ask, "What can I learn from this?" They shift their perspective from frustration to curiosity. They understand that within every difficulty, there is an opportunity to develop a new skill, gain a new insight, or build resilience. The struggle itself is not the problem the way a person chooses to interpret it is. One of the key reasons mentally strong people reframe challenges as opportunities is because they recognize that growth only happens outside of the comfort zone. When things are easy, there is no reason to change. People continue doing what they have always done, staying within familiar patterns. But when a challenge appears, it forces them to adapt. It pushes them to think creatively, to explore new possibilities, and to expand their abilities. Without these challenges, progress would be impossible. History is filled with stories of people who turn challenges into opportunities. Some of the greatest innovations, breakthroughs, and achievements came from people who refused to see difficulties as permanent barriers. They faced rejection, failure, and hardship, but instead of quitting, they asked, "How can this make me better?" This question changes everything. It shifts the focus from what is lost to what can be gained. It transforms obstacles into stepping stones. There is also a psychological benefit to reframing challenges in this way. When people see a situation as a threat, their stress levels rise, their confidence drops, and their ability to think clearly diminishes. But when they see a challenge as an opportunity, their mindset shifts. Instead of feeling overwhelmed, they feel motivated. Instead of focusing on what could go wrong, they focus on how they can improve. This shift in perspective not only reduces stress, but also increases resilience. Mentally strong people also recognize that every challenge is temporary. Difficulties may feel overwhelming in the moment, but they always pass. What remains is the lesson learned and the strength gained. When people approach challenges with the mindset that they are opportunities for growth, they become more willing to face them head on. They understand that each struggle prepares them for the next level of success. Another reason why this mindset is so powerful is that it builds confidence. Every time a person overcomes a challenge, they prove to themselves that they are capable. They develop the belief that they can handle difficulties, that they can figure things out, even when the path is unclear. This belief is what gives mentally strong people the courage to take risks and pursue big goals. They are not afraid of failure because they know that every failure contains a lesson that moves them forward. Instead of running from difficulties, mentally strong people welcome them as opportunities to grow. They know that challenges are not meant to stop them, but to shape them. They understand that success is not about avoiding problems, but about learning how to navigate them. By embracing this mindset, they turn every obstacle into a chance to improve, to evolve, and to become stronger than before. The people we surround ourselves with shape our thoughts, influence our decisions, and determine the level of success we achieve. Many people underestimate just how much their environment affects them. They believe that their mindset, discipline, and drive alone will be enough to push them forward. But the truth is, no one succeeds in isolation. The company we keep has a direct impact on our mental strength, our ambitions, and our ability to overcome challenges. Mentally strong people understand this. They know that their relationships can either push them forward or pull them back. They are intentional about the people they allow into their inner circle. They surround themselves with individuals who challenge them, support them, and hold them accountable. They seek out those who inspire them to grow, rather than those who drain their energy or keep them stuck in negativity. Negativity is contagious. If a person is constantly around people who complain, make excuses, or doubt their own potential, it becomes easy to adopt the same mindset. Even the most driven individuals can start to lose motivation if they are surrounded by pessimism. On the other hand, when someone is surrounded by people who believe in growth, who push through challenges, and who encourage ambition, that energy becomes infectious. The right people make the hard days easier. They remind each other of the bigger picture, offer support when things get tough, and celebrate each other's wins. One of the biggest mistakes people make is holding on to relationships that no longer serve them. It can be difficult to distance oneself from negative influences, especially if those relationships have been in place for a long time. But mentally strong people recognize that if a person, no matter how close, is constantly bringing negativity, discouragement, or doubt into their life, they have to set boundaries. This does not mean cutting people off carelessly. It means being mindful of how much energy is given to relationships that do not contribute to growth. At the same time, mentally strong people are proactive about finding the right circle. They seek out mentors, peers, and friends who uplift them. They look for people who have qualities they admire, who embody the values they aspire to, and who challenge them to become better versions of themselves. These relationships create an environment where growth is not just possible, but inevitable. The right circle holds each other accountable, not out of criticism, but out of a shared desire to see one another succeed. Accountability is one of the most valuable aspects of having the right people around. When a person sets a goal or commits to something challenging, it is easy to make excuses when things get difficult. But when they have people who hold them to their word, who remind them of their potential, and who refuse to let them settle for less than what they are capable of, it becomes harder to give up. This kind of support system is what allows people to push beyond their limits. Another powerful aspect of surrounding oneself with the right people is the exposure to new perspectives. When someone is constantly in the same environment, thinking the same way, and engaging in the same conversations, their growth is limited. But when they are surrounded by people who think differently, who have diverse experiences, and who challenge them to expand their mindset, their world opens up. They begin to see possibilities they never considered before, and they develop a deeper understanding of their own potential. Mental strength is not just about individual effort. It is about creating an environment that nurtures resilience, ambition, and continuous improvement. The right people make all the difference. They inspire, support, and challenge in ways that help each other reach new heights. Mentally strong people do not leave their environment to chance. They choose their circle wisely because they know that the people around them will either fuel their growth or hold them back. Mental strength is not something a person is born with. It is something that is built over time. Many people assume that those who exhibit resilience, discipline, and confidence have always been that way, as if mental toughness is a trait that only a select few naturally possess. But the truth is, mental strength is developed through small choices repeated consistently. It is not a gift, it is a skill that can be learned, practiced, and strengthened. Every day, people face moments that test their mental toughness. Some of these moments are big, like dealing with a major setback, facing rejection, or navigating uncertainty. Others are small, like choosing between staying disciplined or making an excuse, between reacting emotionally or responding thoughtfully. The way a person handles these moments determines how strong they become. Each time they choose resilience over retreat, discipline over distraction, and growth over comfort, they reinforce the habit of mental toughness. Building mental strength starts with awareness. Many people go through life reacting to circumstances without realizing they have a choice in how they respond. They let their emotions dictate their actions, their fears limit their potential, and their challenges define their outlook. Mentally strong people, however, take ownership of their mindset. They recognize that they cannot always control what happens to them, but they can always control how they react. They train themselves to pause, reflect, and choose their response rather than being controlled by impulse or circumstance. One of the most important aspects of developing mental strength is consistency. It's just like physical strength is built through regular exercise, mental strength is built through regular practice. A person does not become mentally strong by making one good decision. They become mentally strong by making small, intentional choices every single day. When someone commits to waking up early, sticking to their goals, embracing discomfort, and learning from failure, they slowly build the resilience needed to handle even the toughest challenges. Failure is one of the greatest teachers of mental strength. Many people see failure as something to avoid, something that proves they are not good enough. But mentally strong people see failure differently. They view it as a stepping stone, a necessary part of the learning process. Every setback gives them valuable information about what works and what doesn't, allowing them to adjust their approach and come back stronger. They do not let failure define them, they use it to refine them. Self-discipline plays a critical role in mental strength. It is easy to be motivated when things are going well, but true strength is built in the moments when motivation fades. Mentally strong people do not rely on fleeting emotions to drive their actions. They commit to their habits, routines, and goals regardless of how they feel on a given day. They understand that discipline is not about being perfect. It is about showing up consistently and doing the work even when it is difficult. Perspective also plays a key role in building mental strength. Many people see challenges as unfair burdens, but mentally strong individuals reframe their struggles as opportunities to grow. They do not ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Instead, they ask, "What can I learn from this?" This shift in thinking allows them to face difficulties with curiosity rather than frustration. It gives them the ability to adapt, adjust, and keep moving forward no matter what obstacles arise. Another important factor in developing mental strength is surrounding oneself with the right influences. The people a person interacts with daily have a significant impact on their mindset and resilience. Being around individuals who encourage growth, challenge complacency, and support perseverance makes the journey of building mental strength easier. On the other hand, being surrounded by negativity, doubt, and complacency can weaken even the strongest mindset. Mentally strong people choose their environment wisely, ensuring that it supports their development rather than undermining it. Mental strength is not an overnight transformation, it is a lifelong commitment. It is built through small choices, daily discipline, and the willingness to see struggles as opportunities rather than obstacles. It is not about never feeling doubt, fear, or frustration, but about choosing not to let those feelings control the outcome. Every moment presents a chance to either build strength or stay stagnant. The choice is made every single day.